What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Third and Longhorn postgame show. We are going to recap number 8, Texas's 55-0 victory over Sam Houston State. I am Nick Shuley. I'm going to be your host tonight. I am joined by Alex Okafor, as well as Mark Higgins is here. And Alex, we appreciate you being here, man. We're a little light on the turnout. You know, we had a bunch of people out of town, a bunch of people with a bunch of, places to be. So it's just you and me, but it's we picked a good one to get a light show for.
I'll say this, man, fans, we love us because we love y'all because we out here doing this late for you guys pro bono. So let's get it.
Amen. Amen. Well, let's get right into it, man. The story of the night, the second story will be Arch Manning, but the story of the night is Texas with 607 total yards to Sam Houston State's 113. We're not going to sit here and claim this, this Sam Houston State team is a powerhouse. We knew going in what this was going to look like, but good teams take care of business in games like this. And we finally saw Arch playing with confidence. We saw him finding that Wingo connection, DeAndre Moore connection. We saw, I think, a couple guys rise up that could be running back number 3, and then we'll get to it in a bit. But our defense is just
disgusting,
unbelievable,
unreal. Look, we wanted a goose egg, and that's exactly what we got defensively. But we got to lead the show with this offense. So we've led the show with the offense every time now, so we got to continue to do that, especially when they play well. So shout out this offense. Shout out Arch Manning, man. Ignoring the noise, blocking out the noise, ignoring the criticism when it was at the all-time high. This offense got back on track, and I'm so proud of them. Let's start it off from the first drive of the game. So I know, fans, first drive of the game, Arch comes out here. Sark draws up a wide-open Parker Livingston in the middle of the field. Arch does not see him wide open, tries to dump it off to the running back. It gets tipped, incomplete ball, and I know what everybody's thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go again. But that's not what happened. As soon as that play happened, he got it out of his system. Sark draws up another nice play for DeAndre Moore in the slot. Over out to the left side. Arch delivers a good football, slightly underthrown, but it was a completion, and that's all that matters. And since that point, he took off from that moment. And great job by Arch staying focused, delivering the football. I want to say he hit Parker Livingston on the sideline, on the right sideline, across the hash. Perfect football, and then we capped off a nice drive with an excellent run right up the middle. I want to say the offensive line blocked it up with an inside zone, specifically a duo play, but that gap was so wide. I want to say even Jay Hills with his old age could have ran through that gap. But
he's catching strays. We know he's in the chat, folks. Jeremy Hills, we saw him in the chat earlier, so we're definitely going to be shouting him out a little bit. But man, like you said, man, sorry to cut you off. Keep going. I
was going to say in the second drive of the game, we saw Arch get zero pressure up front, handle it beautifully, hit up decisively Ryan Wingo on the sideline. He ran a nice route. Then continues to go down the field with a couple nice other throws, nice running, nice gains on the ground, and then finally caps it off with a nice run. Rollout play designed by Sark. Makes a couple guys miss, punches it into the end zone, then stands over the guy, talks his stuff, mugs him. I'm surprised he didn't even get a flag.
I'm surprised too.
What you love to see from that is that's what we've been waiting from Arch, the swagger, the confidence, the bravado. That's what separates him from his uncles, and I think we finally got to see that. He started the game pissed off from start to finish, and this is the results we get.
I love it, man. And all those people out there hating on that, Arch is not a showboat. Arch is not any of that. And to see that shows we've been waiting for him to have that confidence. That's why I love that everyone's hating on it already. You're like, no, you wanted him to have this confidence. You wanted him to be that guy. And when he plays like that, he's one of the best there is. And he has that confidence. And you saw it today, finally.
No, I agree. I don't know. They must have had an outstanding week of practice, or maybe he's just starting to get into his rhythm. But regardless, we saw a different Arch out there today. We saw a confident Arch. We saw Arch from the practice reports during camp. This is the type of Arch we thought we was going to get first game of the season, delivering nice balls down the field to Wingo, hitting up DeAndre Moore in the slot. peppering those guys. We thought those would be receivers 1 and 2, and they started off a little slow in the season, but now they picked it up this game, and that puts Parker Livingston as an elite wide receiver 3 option.
Yep.
And it was just nice to see Arch play on schedule, make the right reads, and deliver accurate footballs.
Yeah, and I love it. The throw that got me the most excited was I believe the second quarter, where he was kind of rolling out and then looked like he was about to take it and run, and then spotted Jordan Washington wide open down the field. So was through on the run even a little bit, just nailed it and scored the touchdown. And folks, 18 of 21, 309 yards, 3 touchdowns, 5 carries, 11 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He accounted for 5 touchdowns and played about, a little over, 2 quarters, basically. So, and he didn't play that much in the second half. So a lot to take away from this. Obviously, we're not going to overreact and get too crazy, but these are the types of games that get that confidence back. And going into a bye week, I think it's a huge deal going into Florida with Arch having that confidence, knowing he can play like that. I mean, we don't know it. We're not in his head, but you could feel there was some self-doubt creeping in, I think, and he was hearing it from every which way. So to see him go out, take care of business, show his confidence, I'm so happy for the kid.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what you want to see. I'm so proud of him. I'm proud of this offense. Like you said, I know it's Sam Houston State, but we can't control who we play.
Correct.
And it's not like the previous 2 defenses we played were the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he looked like that against lower competition. So I'm just glad to see that offensively we were able to play to our standard and deliver a win how it's supposed to look.
Yeah. And let's spend some time on the running backs. 41 carries, 264 yards, 6.4 yards a carry, 4 touchdowns. Look, I love what I see from Jarrett Gibson. Yeah. And Jarrett, when Jarrett can hold on to the ball, which he did today, he's a dangerous running back. And he looks like he could be RB3, but then you see Christian Clark show some of that wiggle, do some great stuff. James Simon shows a lot of good stuff. And Christian ended up 13 carries, 62 yards and a touchdown. Jarrett Gibson, 11 carries, 53 yards and a touchdown. They both averaged 4.8 a carry. And then James Simon with 9 carries for 50 yards. And then the gaudiest play of all was Matthew Caldwell with the it says 50 yards. I thought it was 61 live, but
it felt a little longer.
Yeah, but he definitely didn't show that arch burst at the end. So I mean, he's not got that extra gear, but still great play by him to pull that ball. And saw a lot of good stuff, I think. But let's get to the wide receivers. I think a key for this team was getting that Arch Manning, Ryan Wingo combination figured out. And you saw that deep ball had some shades of Quinn Ewers to Xavier Worthy at Alabama, that, a little bit over the shoulder. And it was fun to see. 23 catches, 343 yards, 14.9 yards a catch, and 3 touchdowns.
This was the connection that we've been hearing about. This is the connection that they formed over the offseason. I think not just me, but everybody was a little surprised by how slow they started off. It looked like they weren't on the same page at all at the beginning of the season, but then now we got to see what it looks like once they flip the switch. Coming out, I mean, we saw how he was able to target and pepper him in the first half, but I was really impressed with some of those throws early in the second half. When you talk about that deep post route by Wingo, throwing a beautiful ball to him, probably the best pass I've seen from Arch here at Texas. Amazing throw by him. Then the next drive following that was able to hit Wingo again on a quick slant route in the end zone. He is finally looking at his number 1 receiver and treating him like he is a true number 1. And Wingo responded well, running his routes with some conviction, looking for the ball every single time. I felt like earlier in the season, especially against Ohio State, he still was in wide receiver 2 mode a little bit, taking the back seat, maybe not expecting the ball every single route, every single play. Today looked different. He was running routes to get open and expecting the football, and this is what it looks like. This is the type of production that he can put up on the day in and day out basis.
I totally agree. And let's not forget, I think such a key piece to this offense that kind of gets lost in it is DeAndre Moore. And DeAndre Moore is that reliable receiver that also has a little more burst than people give him credit for. That guy's a game breaker. And we saw it. He had a couple big catches in the first half. He ended up 5 catches, 79 yards, and no touchdowns, but really good game. And you mentioned Parker Livingston, 3 carries, 34 yards, and no touchdowns. And big catch by Jordan Washington to get 2 catches, 33 yards, and a touchdown. So overall, you got to be happy with how things were spread around. We got to see some of the young talent, got a lot of people in there. We even saw KJ Lacey come in and get a little playing time. So a lot to like. I will say there's that wrinkle that I've been waiting for, because we haven't seen who's going to be our Keelan Robinson, who's going to be that guy,
our gadget guy.
Yeah, and it feels like they're starting to weave Niblet in there, and I think we knew it would be him, but he shows a little bit of burst too.
Man, a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit of burst.
It.
Yeah, no, we got to get him some more touches for sure. And like you said, he's the perfect gadget guy for this offense. A smaller player, but has that burst, has that acceleration, has that change of direction. He's a guy that you just got to find the way to get the football in his hands, and you know it's going to be a big play waiting to happen. And I don't care what that looks like. Today, it was off a screen pass. Next week or 2 weeks from now, because we got a bye week, it could be a reverse. It could be a jet sweep. Who knows what it looks like, but we have to find a way to get this dude multiple offensive touches a game.
I agree. Well, we are recapping Texas's 55-0 victory over Sam Houston State. I'm Nick Shuley, joined by Alex Okafor. Mark Higgins, you got anything to add back there? You're still working on the technical.
We're still working on a few tech things, but yeah, I mean, did what we had to do. Like Oak said, it's on the schedule. You go out and play it, and you can't control who you're playing. And I think everybody, not to get too hyped up, but the alternative would have been 2 weeks of what's wrong with ours. So
Yeah.
it's pretty happy. I'm sure the team will celebrate tonight and tomorrow, and then get back to work.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, an extremely successful day for the defense, holding them to 113 yards total, 86 yards passing, as well as 27 yards rushing. I mean, just shutting it down. We ended up with 2 sacks. For one for Colin Simmons and the other for, I believe, who did I miss? Trey Moore.
Trey Moore,
yeah. And although actually I might have lied, this updated and now has it at 5 sacks. So it has Lance Jackson having a sack, as well as Brad Spence. They credited Smith the Rugbo with one as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I hadn't seen those. These just updated, so apologies to y'all.
I think that was on the last drive, honestly.
Okay.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I was on my way up here in the fourth quarter. I don't remember seeing those plays.
Yeah, we'd only had 2, but the team, we forced 1 turnover. It was that pick, which, by the way,
Yes.
Jelani McDonald. Can we just talk about how much of a freak that man is?
You talk about a prospect sitting 6'2", 200 pounds, excellent ball skills, can play in the box. Obviously, you see the coverage ability and the athleticism, going up about 40 inches in the air to peel that ball out the sky, man. That was an outstanding play. Shout out Jelani McDonald, man. He's one of my favorite players to watch.
Yeah, he's going to be a special player. Yeah, overall, just an unbelievable day by the defense. I mean, you see so many things you like, and we kept saying, and Aaron Williams kept telling us that. He's like, they just got to keep pushing and dropping that score down, and he's like, and we're eventually going to get to the shutout, and we did. And I think, this defense continues to impress, and as long as we have that, we're going to be in good shape. And if the offense can play even any semblance of this, then we're going to be in great shape. And so,
yeah, I was going to say, I mean, that rush defense stays solid. They weren't able to move the ball at all on the ground. And then the pass rush, what still is not as dynamic as people were expecting, but we saw glimpses today, especially early on. Colin Simmons popping the game off with a sack. Trey Moore on a 3-man rush, being able to easily beat his man outside on the speed rush and get the offensive player on the ground, the quarterback on the ground. What was impressive today is we gave a lot of nice and different upfront looks. Like, we loaded the line of scrimmage multiple times, especially on third downs. And I love seeing us play with that type of flexibility to be able to stand up Colin Simmons and Ant Hill and be able to mug them up in the B gaps while we have 3 down linemen, whether that's Trey Moore, Ethan Burke, or anybody else that wants to run on the outside. We have a ton of flexibility on that front 7, and it allows us to create so many different looks that it's going to confuse quarterbacks and offenses moving forward. And this is just the tip of the iceberg.
I love it, man. Well, if you guys have any comments, anything you want, or any questions you want us to answer, please put those into the chat. And if you have questions for Jeremy Hills, we'll see if he's still here in the chat. I'm sure he's going to be trying to answer stuff. He feels left out. But let's get to, before we get to questions and comments, let's get to the special teams. We did not see much of Jack Bomeister today, which is, kind of how you want it. Didn't come in until late. 2 punts, 106 yards, averaging 53 yards a punt. I know he's going to be ticked off about that touchback too, because it was he kicked it a little too far and we couldn't get to it. Mason Shipley with another good game, 2 for 2 on field goals, 7 for 7 on extra points, staying solid. And I didn't realize he had switched over to the kickoff duty as well. He kicked one out of bounds. I know he won't be happy about, and then let's talk about Ryan Niblett. You knew one was coming. You knew, and man, he set that one up nicely. Three returns, 56 yards, and averaging 18 yards a return.
And like you said, it was set up perfectly. And if you were watching the TV copy of the game, you got to hear the announcer say it, because the play that he did break that long punt return, it was after a penalty. So they had to re-kick. And let me tell you, that is real. As somebody that has been on punt coverage, if you ever have to redo that snap, it goes from you giving 100% to you giving about 65% because you are that tired. It's almost like a blackout situation. So it wasn't. It was not surprising to see Ryan Niblett be able to create an explosive run on that punt return. And I love that Sark is giving him these opportunities to create chunk plays for us and be able to set up our offense in nice field position.
Yeah. All that, lots of great news coming from this game. The one thing that we keep harping on did not get better today. 9 penalties, 70 yards. We're just we got too much, and those are something that I'm sure they're gonna hammer into them in this bye week, et cetera. But if that's all we have to complain about today,
that's fair. But it is concerning. I mean, I will say this was almost a near perfect game. If there is anything to nitpick, it is the penalties, and rightfully so. We have to nitpick those penalties because it's something that is not getting cleaned up. And it's not like it happened late in the game with some of our backups. No, the first drive of the game, we get 2 penalties offensively. Like, that cannot happen. I know Sark is hounding them, is preaching to clean up the penalties, and for you to come out that first drive and have 2 offensive penalties out the rip, that was a little bit disappointing, and something has to get figured out there. But like you said, if that's the only thing we have to clean up, I like us going into the bye week.
Yeah, me too. And a shout out also to all the Texas staff. These night games are something special, and just the drone shows and the pageantry and everything that goes into it. We were there for the first half, and it was fantastic. I didn't get to be there for the drone show, but the atmosphere was awesome. People showed out. I will say that's the worst traffic game in a long time. So I guess that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Higgs, you got something there?
I just had a question for Alex. Like, of a early morning 11 a.m. game, 2:30 game, or 7 o'clock, what was your preference as a player? Did you have one?
In college, I love those night games. The atmosphere is just different at night. And if you've been to DKR in the day as opposed to at night, it's a completely different
100%.
feeling, man. That atmosphere is outrageous at night. So as a player, you want to be able to compete in those type of environments. You want the bright lights on you. You want the attention. You want the media attention on you, the primetime games. So that's what we'll have plenty of opportunities to get moving forward. And now we just got to put out the same product that we put out today.
Yeah, well, before we get into the questions and comments, Higgs had a great idea to talk about. Obviously, we're going into a bye week now, where we're going to get a little time off and get back into it and get ready for Florida. What, as a player, what do weeks like this look like?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, it depends how the season is going for you. That plays a lot into it. So judging off how this season has unraveled for us so far, I would assume that it'd be a pretty tough bye week. Because we have to build upon the success that we had tonight. We cannot let our foot off the gas. Now, I know we're a little bit banged up, so priority number 1 is to get healthy. Make sure we get Trey Wisner back. Make sure we get Cedric Baxter back. Make sure that whatever was ailing DeAndre Moore, the concussion, obviously he's good from that, but let's get him up to speed during this bye week some more. This bye week, I would expect them to practice relatively hard. I would expect there to be maybe 1 or 2 full padded practices so we can keep our physicality up. We saw so much from the defensive line. It would be a shame for us to take a step back and regress if we don't practice the right way. So I expect Sark to stay on the gas. I expect Sark to push these guys pretty hard, and I expect us to look better and sharp coming out of the bye week, and that's what has to happen.
I like it. Well, let's get into the comments and questions if you guys have them. I did see Jeremy Hills post that he is active and attractive in the chat, is what his exact words were. So do what you will with that. But our first starred comment, by the way, guys, if you guys want to contribute to Derrick Joe's Chick-fil-A fund, Derrick's back there running the boards like he always does. He volunteers and helps us out. So every bit helps. So first comment from Hills, exactly the game we needed headed into the bye week. And our guy CB, Chris Bennett, always in here. I loved Arch getting into it with Sam Houston, defender, after the touchdown. Arch had that fire back tonight. Yeah, I was looking at Twitter, and there's a pretty big backlash on that of like, oh, good job. It's Sam Houston State. And it's like, look, it's one or the other, right? You can't have both. And so you need, I want our quarterback doing that. And it honestly, it should have been a flag, but it is what it is. And I like that he's got that fire back in him and the confidence.
Yeah, no, that's what you want to see from Arch. You wanted to see him pissed off. And I felt like that's how he started this game. And I don't honestly, that's just noise. Whatever the fans are talking, that's just noise. We wanted to see Arch come out here fired up. We wanted to see him have that bravado about himself, have that tenacity, that nastiness about himself. And that's what we saw. And I hope that it continues to be like that moving forward, because he's honestly at his best when he's in that mindset.
I agree. He's a dog.
Just real quick on Hills, like, you know, when you miss school and you got to have the doctor's note, like Hills has got 3-4 comments sitting in here. Can we bring in the excused absence note, Hills, maybe on Monday when we do the preview show or the bye week show?
Yeah, Jay, if you had the time to be in the chat, you had time to be here with us today too.
Exactly. I think he's spending some time with his favorite tequila. So. From Jimmy the Gringo, same here, CB. That swagger is what we needed to see constantly out of Arch. Yeah, that's what we talked about. I agree. From Jason Horn for life, Jelani McDonald is a bad man. That play was freakish.
Yeah, and he has multiple plays like that. He had one, was it last week or the week before? What was it? San Jose State?
I think it was
UTEP.
I think it was San Jose. Yeah,
whichever one it was. He climbed the ladder on another one, and that was outstanding. And then he had my favorite play from the season before against Kentucky when he had that diving interception. Jelani McDonald makes top 10 Sports Center plays on the weekend and week out basis.
Agreed. From Longhorn Lounging, great to finally see the young guys get in. Yeah, that's what you want this time of year. That's that's the whole point, is getting some of these younger guys some experience. And we saw it today. We saw a lot of guys see the field, and I still don't know who running back number 3 is. Like, I think my gut tends to lean on Derrick Gibson. I feel like he's kind of stepped up as that and shows that, but also, I mean, Christian Clark shows flashes, and so does James Simon. So you got a lot of talent there, man. And that's the thing, is when we get Wisner back, so excited to have him back on that field, man.
Yeah, no, we have an embarrassment of riches in the running back room. Like you said, between Trey Wisner, CJ Baxter, Christian Clark, Jared Gibson, Simon, Niblett being our gadget guy. We have so much depth back there that it's honestly a shame that we're not able to get all of these guys multiple touches weekly. But it's a strong sign for this offense moving forward, especially the way we blocked up front today. We'll need those bodies in the running back room moving forward so that we can impose our will.
Never had this
for sure. From Jimmy the Gringo, rhythm and run game looked good. Arch was definitely going through the progression efficiently.
Yeah, no, he was getting the ball out quicker. His process was a lot faster tonight. He looked confident delivering that football. And it was fun to see how he kind of sprinkled it into everybody. Started out early in the game, Pepper and DeAndre Moore. Then as the game went on, started looking for Wingo and started searching and finding Wingo. Then delivered a few good passes to Parker Livingston. I would have liked to see Jack Injuries get a little bit more involved, but we know we got plenty of time this season. We've already seen it from him, so we know what he provides for us. But yeah, that passing attack was on fire tonight, and we got to see that.
I didn't get to see Endry's snap count, and I was wondering if they're still. I know he was a little bit dinged up the game before, so I was wondering if they were limited. I didn't see him out there, but he definitely didn't. I don't think he had any targets that I saw, because we were moving around a bunch. So.
Yeah, I mean, but we know we have in him.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a big time piece of this offense. So from Feel Smart, I know a lot of the talk is going to be they did what they should have done to Sam Houston, but if the offense can use this win to get their swagger back, we will be dangerous going into SEC play.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give the offense their credit. They didn't handle business against San Jose State. They didn't handle business against UTEP. We played below our standard offensively those 2 games. And this week, we were able to live up to that standard. So I don't want to hear it. I understand it is Sam Houston State, and we got to take the production with a grain of salt. But we weren't able to see this explosive of an attack the past couple weeks. So it does mean something this week.
I agree. From Malachi Megiddo, first shutout of the season, though. I'm happy. Yeah. I mean,
I'm happy.
Shutouts.
I'm happy too. And those shutouts are so hard to get. We saw it last week when we let our foot off the gas a tad bit. I was so proud of the backups coming in, and not just coming in and making sure the levees don't break. They were out there hunting the ball and making plays. Like we got to see the depth of not only this team, but the depth of this defense. And we know that we're in good hands moving forward.
For sure. Another one from CB. Brady Sarkisian got in the action, and his dad's reaction was awesome. I don't know. Did you get to see that?
I did not get to see it,
Oh, man.
yeah.
He was trying. You could tell Sark was trying not to smile. Brady made a nice tackle. Yeah, Sark definitely was like, they flashed the camera on him, and he definitely was trying not to smile ear to ear. So that was cool.
That's what these games are about. Get everybody on the field. That's why, as starters, you got to do your job. Don't rob the backups. They deserve the opportunity. They practice hard too. They deserve the opportunity to get a couple game reps. So starters, handle your business early, start the game fast, and take your helmet off by the end of the third quarter so we can get some of these backups in.
And we did just that. Another one from Malachi Maggetto. Thanks for the sponsor comment. Derek Joe, you got $2 coming, buddy. Shout out to the young Sarkisian too. Yeah, definitely. From
Derek, get a small iced tea with that $2.
From Splash 24 Dizzo, James Simon is nice.
He looks good, and we've heard some good reports from him during training camp. First time we've got to see him flash, and it was fun to watch. So looking to see him get a few more touches moving forward.
Yeah, that's a true freshman right there coming in. From Jimmy the Gringo, can we get some props for Caldwell and the wheels? Well, yeah, he definitely made a great fake, and he pulled away for a little bit, but then that somebody else's closing speed kind of closed on him. But I mean, great play though.
No, I mean it was an outstanding fake. I want to say he even faked out the cameraman because I saw him taking down the sideline, but I didn't know he had the football. But he took off. You get to see why Sark went out and targeted him in the portal. Let's pray nothing happens to Arch. We're starting to see his ceiling a little bit and what he can provide for this team. But if Caldwell's name is ever called, he'll be able to run an efficient offense.
For sure. Yeah, I think he showed that he can handle this and come in and do what needs to be done. Would make a lot of people feel a lot better, knowing you have that. And it shows why we went after him, like you said, in the portal. That makes sense. From Jeremy Hills, Higgs is killing me. But another one from Hills, my favorite stat from the night, first 5 drives of the game were 3 and outs by our defense. Amazing, simply amazing.
Yeah, no, that was impressive. During the preview show, I threw out something crazy saying I wanted to see us get a 10-piece of 3 and outs, 10 of them. At the end of the first half, we had 5 of them. I'm like, oh, we might have a shot at this thing. And then obviously it started slowing down a little bit. You can't maintain that high of a level throughout the whole game. But shout out to this defense, 5 3 and outs. I want to say 54 total yards of offense for Sam Houston State in the first half. I want to say they didn't even cross the 50-yard line until the last drive of the first half. Even on that Hail Mary that they tried to throw right before halftime, excellent job combining the rush with the coverage. I know on Hail Mary plays, quarterbacks want to roll out to their right, buy some time for their receivers to get in the end zone so that you can chunk one up into the end zone. Our rush didn't allow him to roll out to the right, therefore not allowing the receivers to get into the end zone. And that's why you see a Jelani McDonald come over the top and be able to pluck that out the sky.
Yeah. Higgs, what do you got?
Yeah, maybe we're all playing with Hills and we're killing him, but I will point out, Jeremy, you were the one in the preview show who actually asked how many times did Sam Houston go 3 and out in the season? And I think it was 18 times in 3 games. So you called it from the jump, Hills.
Yeah, and looking at these stats, we held Sam Houston to 7 first downs the whole game. They were 2 for 15 on third down, 0 for 2 on fourth down. They averaged 2.2 yards a play. That defense, I mean, that's as close to a perfect game as you're probably going to get. Like that, I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, and what's exciting is this defense is getting better. They're growing. They're playing with more continuity. We have a couple young pieces in there, and they're playing along and not providing any drop-off in production. This is exciting to see, especially heading into conference play, because we know we're going to have to lean on them. We know they're going to have to be at their best. We know that pass rush is going to have to start igniting, and we saw a little bit of that today. We saw Ant Hill all over the field. We saw our usual suspects, the playmakers, making plays, and that's what you need to see.
Yeah, we got another sponsor comment from Michael Diallo's. How do we think the O-line held up? Are they going to be ready for the SEC?
Yeah. So what you saw from the offensive line from the first snap of the game is creating movement. And that's why we were able to rush for 264 yards on the ground, because they're moving bodies. We had our way on the ground. If you go back and watch this tape, and I need to, but just from the naked eye, we ran all sorts of runs. We inside zone, outside zone, split zone, GT counters. I saw everything I needed to see on the ground. And what does that do? It marries up with the play action game. So now whenever we do have play action, Arch was just standing back there forever, nobody in his face, because we were able to ground and pound. And then when we switched it up, defense was not able to convert. We had all day to throw, and that's why we're able to start hitting guys down the field. So it was nice seeing this rushing attack explode. It was nice seeing some movement on the offensive line. Shout out to DJ Campbell showing out the athleticism, getting out there on the blocks. I'm sure scouts would love to see
He
that.
lit up the group chat with that high stepping.
Absolutely. But yes, this is the blocking and this is the tenacity up front we need moving forward.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I think that's mainly what we had. We will give, obviously it's a bye week, so we won't be having our preview show, but we'll have a little something special for you guys. We'll release an episode of something. And then we will be back here the following week with the preview show, post-game show, all of that. And I think that's all I got, man. You got anything?
No,
Higgs?
no.
Maybe a little merch drop coming soon?
Oh, yeah. Keep your eyes peeled. I know everybody's been asking. We got some merch coming. We may have some of these coming thanks to our good friends at Yeti. So you guys get ready. Stay tuned to our social media, and we'll do it once Higgs and I get a little extra time to get the store live. So
Find that 25th hour.
exactly. All right. We appreciate y'all, and we will see you guys soon. Hook 'em.
Okay.